Great books lift us. Great Catholic books lift us closer to God. I'm Brad Shapizi. Tonight on Great Catholic Books, we have with us Father Nicholas Blackwell, also known as the Friar. He's a Carmelite priest, here to share with us a great Catholic book that lifted him closer to God. There's a link to his channel in the video description. Please check it out and subscribe for more of his great reflections. Father Nick?
Hello, I'm Father Nicholas Blackwell, a Carmelite priest in the Catholic Church. I'm also known as the Friar on my social media ministry content. Today, as part of a Catholic YouTube collaboration idea, I'm working with the good people over at Laudare Outreach to share some good spiritual insights from an important spiritual text from the Carmelite tradition. And that text is The Interior Castle by St. Teresa of Jesus, also known as St. Teresa of Avila. And why is this an important spiritual read? Because she puts forward a very important idea that the journey of the spiritual life, the journey of discipleship, the journey of devotional way of living is not necessarily rooted in sort of exterior manifestations or exterior journeys, but it's about an interior movement within the heart of a person going down into the deepest recesses of their being in order to find the living fountain, the living presence of God, the Holy Spirit. Now, what about this text? This text has a wee bit more organization than her autobiography, which is somewhat intimidating at times because she writes in fits and spurts. In her other texts, she'll have an idea and then she'll go off on it for a bit and then come back to her original idea. And she does that regularly. And from my experience, readers of that get sort of lost. Not that way in The Interior Castle. She wrote this under great, not stress, but in an understanding that there was a greater need of organization in relationship to her thoughts and her understanding of the spiritual life, because her previous works were under suspicion during the Spanish Inquisition based on her family history. Now, some of the wonderful insights from this is, as you move from room to room within the castle, which the castle is your human heart, you discover different things about yourself and what to look for in terms of your relationship of your spiritual life. And she offers great descriptions and images to work with. So even if you struggle with forming the ideas necessary to sort of shape one's spiritual life, like clunky words and a lot of jargonous language can get you distracted, she offers these wonderful images that just invite the reader into a need to just sit and be present to it. She has a great use of turns of phrase and etc. And I cannot recommend this book highly enough if you're interested in getting into reading about St. Teresa of Avila. This is a great gateway book because it gives a good umbrella, a good foundation for her thoughts as she puts it all together. And one of the big things she offers forward in terms of The Interior Castle is she sort of helps get away from this dichotomy of putting Martha and Mary thoughts against each other. If you're Mary and you're contemplative, you're locked away and rooted in prayer, and the world's out there and they're taking care of themselves, versus, the Marian sort of worker movements and things like that, where, if you're not out there living the gospel by these good works of faith and action, then, can you really say you're a person of prayer? In her work, she shows this great movement of journey from someone's desire to go deeper in relationship to Jesus Christ through the movement of the heart, through the movement of the soul, going deeper and deeper down to understand one's living relationship with Jesus Christ, with always that idea that it's done in community, it's done with others. And she offers a great reflection in the book of about moving from Mary to Martha and how they're always intimately connected. You can never separate the sisters apart from each other. So she offers great insight in how to, if one wishes to cultivate a spiritual life, that doesn't mean eradicating good works or apostolic labors from one's life. No, that is an extension of one's interior life rooted in allegiance to Jesus Christ, which is a fundamental aspect to Carmelite spirituality. So If you're looking for a good read, I highly recommend it. There's many different kinds of publications out there that convey these. Anything through the Carmelite Press is translations that we stand by. But if you're looking for a good spiritual read that you can journey through, maybe Lent or Advent, and you just want to take little steps, little movements, and you feel that call within your heart that the Holy Spirit's speaking with you, calling you to a deeper, loving relationship, and you're seeking a way to understand that, and you can't necessarily get to a spiritual director, or maybe you don't have many spiritualesque friends in your life, this book by Teresa Avila is of the utmost importance for you. And also, one of the great things is she's a beautiful witness to Carmelite spirituality in its connectionship with the scriptures. Her text is constantly either drawing from the scriptures, quoting to the scriptures, pointing to the scriptures, weaving in imagery of the scriptures, because our Carmelite rule is founded on a relationship with the living God. And when it was written for us by Albert of Jerusalem, he weaved all different sorts of images of the Bible in there for us. So Teresa is taking that up as she writes sort of what I believe is one of her pinnacle works and one of her pinnacle labors in helping out her sisters, because she didn't write the interior castle for herself. She wrote it for the benefit of those in her life that were seeking to go deeper into their relationship with Jesus Christ, which they have been called to by the Holy Spirit. So if you're looking for, like I said, a good spiritual read rooted in Carmelite spirituality, because you're seeking a life of allegiance to Jesus Christ, rooted in a pure heart and a stout conscience, and you want to understand how to learn to listen to Jesus better, to develop a prayerful listening style of devotion in your life, Teresa Avila and her work, The Interior Castle, has to be a book that you add to your library and that you incorporate into your spiritual practices and into your spiritual reading. I can't recommend it enough. So thank you very much for your time. My name is Father Nicholas Blackwell. I'm a Carmelite priest out of the Archdiocese of New York. You can find my YouTube channel, The Frank Friar, by searching for it, The Frank Friar. You can also visit my website, thefrankfriar.com. There I have my weekly blog, I have a podcast, links to my YouTube channel, and also my articles that I write for the Catholic Stand. I want to thank the people over at Laudare Outreach for reaching out to me and helping to establish this wonderful collaborative effort as we are being called forward to work together as co-workers in the vineyard through other Catholic YouTube groups. Thank you very much for your time today. Know that I'm praying for you, know that I'm with you, and you know that you're in the prayers of St. Teresa Avila. Take care, and God bless.